On this week's show, will the Peloton studios officially open in August?
And this month, Peloton honors mental health awareness and much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 83 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel, and I'm joined by my co-host, John Pruitt. Hey, John.
Hello. How are you, Amanda?
I am good. Everything good here on the East Coast. It's warming up and we're getting ready for summer. Who knows what summer means these days, right? I mean, as we get into the story, summer may mean like August, but we're gearing towards warmer weather.
Yeah, let's just skip right through spring and get right to late summer. Yeah.
We need to get to late summer. But otherwise all's good. Coming off of, I think we spoke about it last week, a somewhat blah homecoming. Kind of came and went, and just keeping busy with all the news, John. I think there's a lot of it.
Still have plenty to discuss.
For sure. Well, folks, before we get started with the news, we'd like to remind you how to keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel, so just hit the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand side of this video and hit the notify button so that you never miss an episode.
And you can also listen to us in traditional podcast format. We're on all platforms. Just search Pelo Buddy TV. Hit subscribe, click notifications so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review if you enjoy the show, if you watch or listen to us and have any feedback. We always love to hear some of the comments and read some of the great reviews that we receive.
Yeah, we sure do. And finally, folks, we are, of course, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for Pelo Buddy and follow us on those platforms for all of the latest news. And now, John, let's get on with the show.
All right.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
Well, folks, I think it is safe to say that we were all a little, or maybe a lot disappointed that we never got a specific date last week during the Peloton Homecoming keynote address as to the official date the two studios in New York and London would be opening up for members. Although there was certainly a lot of chatter in pretty much every panel, and that the instructors were definitely excited for the doors to open. That bit, there is no question. I mean, they spoke about the studios opening. We know that it's happening. They're definitely preparing. They're showing us more of the studios. But interestingly enough, in the last week, though, our trusty rumor mill spoiler, Jess Sims, not only had a post on her Instagram where she mentioned August, but also clearly stated it in one of her workouts on the tread. So as we all know, this is certainly subject to change, but when they were all referring to summer, it seems that the month of August is it. John, hence my reference to, although it's getting warmer now, summer may only be in August. For me, summer starts in June. So I'm not quite sure how Peloton defines summer as being August. That's the end of summer. You're 100% right. But there are two things to note, though, that we're not quite sure what the experience of riding in the studios will look like. It has been reported that the New York studio actually has less bikes available for the public than their previous studio did. And several coaches have hinted that not as many classes might be open to the public as they had previously had prior to the closure in 2020. So we know that they're working on hiring a concierge type person that will help in facilitating, group rides if people want to come in with their crew. That's something that they'll be working on. But as far as what that experience is going to look like and what we'll be able to expect as members, we've obviously had absolutely no understanding. So we are all waiting with much anticipation. I know that I had a trip booked to London in July, which I have hence cancelled or postponed to later in the year because once I was getting, the chatter and that it looked like it was going to be August, I clearly didn't want to take a trip to London, knowing that I wasn't going to be able to be in the studio. So I guess we'll wait patiently.
Yeah, I have a bit of a personal dilemma because I have a trip scheduled to go to New York the weekend of July 6th for Cody's Boo Crew party. It's a ticketed, they had a limited number of tickets. It's a whole open bar rooftop event that they've rented out a space at a restaurant or a bar. But I thought I was really under the assumption that, one, that they selected that date because it was safe enough for the studio to be open, which they didn't. Right. It didn't factor into it at all. I just had that assumption in my mind, but I figured the studio would be open. So I don't know how many trips I can go back. If I go back in July, the studio's not open. If it opens up the next month, it's like, oh no, I gotta convince Jackie that I need to go back again to the East Coast when I was just there the month prior, and I was there back in, April last month for those concerts. So yeah, I'd love to go to the party, but I'd really like to be back there so I can get the studio experience as well. So now it's, should I still go back either way? No. Yeah,
it is a dilemma, and I felt the same with London. It clearly is a little bit more of a haul, traveling from across the pond. But like you feel about New York, I feel about London. So I really want to be there, and I felt the same way. I just figured I wasn't going to go knowing, and so many, we'll talk about it again in the show as well. But so many instructors aren't going to be there and have said they're not going to be there. So I figured, you know what, I'm just going to wait. So it won't be right when the studio opens. But it'll be a couple months later. I think I'm looking at November for when I plan to go. So we'll see. That's kind of what's in the cards for right now. And we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. So in other closure studio news, so really just pure speculation as to why. But on Saturday, the 21st, there were no live cycling classes at Peloton Studios, New York. And there was only one live cycling class there on Friday, the 20th, which was a Emma and Allie 2-for-1 class. I forget what it was labeled, if it was labeled 2-for-1, but it was a joint cycling class with the two of them. I tried to put out some feelers. I direct messaged Allie, and she left me on red. So usually when they can't tell you anything, they don't just respond. Some of my other sources didn't know. So maybe it sounds like maybe they're doing some maintenance. Maybe they're doing some updates to the room. Yeah. Recording some different content. I don't know. But Saturday is like a peak day. So I'm just... Yeah. I wonder, I guess, more to be revealed. There's still the usual tread classes. Jess Sims still had her Saturday 60 on the schedule. As of we're recording today, it's on the schedule. I assume it went down as it normally was going to. I didn't get in my Alex Club Bangers. Was disappointed not to get my usual Saturday afternoon Alex Club Bangers ride. So... but at least they're back to normal on Sunday. Yeah.
Especially with, Memorial Day weekend being next weekend. I was surprised because I guess I don't know what the schedule looks like. I haven't looked at the schedule for next weekend as to whether there are going to be closures then with the holiday weekend. But interesting.
Well, maybe we'll get a whole bunch of on-demand drops that they're recording Friday and Saturday. for Memorial Day weekend. We'll see.
Maybe that could be.
Yeah.
That could be. Well, I guess also we're talking about all of this. I mean, there's just so much going on from this perspective, and we have to just speculate because, again, at time of recording. But so the question on everybody's mind, John, if you've been on social media lately, is Becs Gentry moving back to London? Again, at the time of recording, we knew that Becs was on the schedule with a run titled Welcome Back Run out of the London studio at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, 12:30 British time yesterday. So Saturday, she was on the schedule. She also was on the schedule for a 2-for-1 with Jermaine Johnson. And that just passed this past Friday at 3 a.m. Eastern and 8 a.m. US time. British time. So by the time you guys get to see or listen to the show, we'll know exactly what Becs is doing in London. But we didn't want to eliminate adding this for release today. I know we're all buzzing to know what it's about. And, I think that hopefully by the time we do by the time we do release this, we will know whether she's back. I know that she had been looking for a house. She's definitely been on social a lot lately. I mean, she shared being in London. She shared going into the studio. There was a great little reel with her and Jermaine kind of walking into the London studio. So I guess we'll wait and see, and we'll be able to report more next week. But with that being said, there's certainly been absence of quite a few instructors on the schedule lately. It seems like a lot of them are taking time off before the studios actually do open. Leanne Hainsby and Ben Aldis's presence was missed the week before last, with Ben mentioning in his ride last Monday that he had been off the schedule due to some personal reasons. He was back on the schedule this past week, but the rest of the month are all encore. Leanne, too, is off the schedule this month with encore classes only. Tons of new classes have been dropping on demand from Leanne, from a new 10-minute warm-up, a 10-minute cool-down, a beginner ride, a pop ride, and an absolutely incredible mood ride that you, John, will talk about in a bit. We know that Sam is off to LA. He had posted on his social a video of a map from the airplane from London to LA with the caption, "What's up, La La Land?" Nico is she's in Bali at a festival. Bradley Rose is enjoying time in Italy with his wife, and that's just to name a few. But there are tons of instructors that are off the schedule, taking time off. There have been some classes that have been dropping on demand, encore classes that have been dropping. They label them encore, but a lot of them are actually new material. So you really do have to go and look at the schedule to see the date as to whether it's actually that date that the encore appears or whether it was a previously recorded class. But I am noticing a lot of that. Of course, we know that Susie Chan and John Husking are off filming scenic content. So there's a lot that's going on, and I guess we just have to wait and see. So kind of just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, everybody's getting out. Maddie was with his family in Turks and Caicos, I guess, doing his birthday celebration, which we actually missed. It was on Monday the 16th. I think we forgot last episode.
No, I think we'll talk about it in this week. It's coming up this week.
Yeah, and Callie and her husband, they were in Italy just recently too. So everybody seems to be I'm living vicariously through a lot of their stories and posts and travels. And
again, my assumption, John, is that, they are probably going to expect for them to be around once the studio, in fact, does open, and are probably going to limit, their time off once the studio opens and people are coming in. Because again, folks are going to be expecting to want to be in class with their favorite instructors. So, just make a note of that. Yeah, so it looks like most are back towards the end of the month. I did notice that Leanne's back on the schedule June 1st with a live ride. So I'm sure that folks are going to be really excited in getting back on the schedule with their favorite instructors.
Yeah. Well, in other news, Amanda, in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, we have a whole bunch of new classes that Peloton has launched. There's a number of live rides. There's some yoga, meditation, runs, some strength, stretches, and even a live boxing class. And in addition to all the live content, there's several ones dropping on demand as well. This is the third year Peloton has had a mental health awareness classes or World Mental Health Day. We, PeloBuddy.com, we have all the previous mental health classes listed on the website, as well as the current ones for 2022. But there's a bunch of them. Camilla, she kicked it off Monday morning, the 16th, with a 30-minute mental health awareness ride. I had set my alarm. I was going to do that 6 a.m. ride, and I didn't make it. I hit the snooze one too many times. But then Rebecca Kennedy had a 20-minute mental health full body stretch. Erik Jager had a ride in German. A DT had a 10-minute meditation. Sam Yo had a 20-minute ride. A whole bunch of other, a whole bunch of different classes. In addition, we also have a new round of mood classes for Peloton's Mood Series that just dropped this past week as part of Mental Health Awareness Month. As part of this drop, Peloton has added 4 new types of moods. They are anxious, energized, frustrated, and grateful. And wondering kind of what each mood is, it's explained. Peloton goes into each description of them on their site. Anxious is anxiety is unsettling, but you're not alone. Come as you are, move in a safe place along with the community. Energized is described as get an extra dose of motivation and experience a workout that makes you stronger and fitter. Frustrated, they described it as some days feel harder than others. This class will provide a space to blow off steam, work through disappointment, and channel power from within. And grateful is described as we're thankful you're here. Honoring small movements can have a big reward. There was 18 new mood classes just added this past week. There's rides, there's shadow boxing, there's yoga, there's something for everyone. Strength, walk, runs, bike boot camps, meditations, and I mean, a good majority of the instructors have some mood contents, from Leanne to Callie, Ross, Anna, Olivia, Jermaine, Kendall, Mila Lazar, and Milo Wedekind. So check out, we list them all pretty easy for you to find on PeloBuddy.com. So if you want to see the full complete list, definitely head over to the website to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, I must say, John, I love them. They're 20 minutes. Certainly the rides were 20 minutes. And, I did Leanne's Grateful Ride, and it was absolutely amazing. I wish that I hadn't picked my picks of the week, because it would have been one of them. But it's definitely one. It's definitely one that I absolutely loved. Hannah's frustrated one was pretty funny too. So Hannah Frankson did yeah. Hers was. I mean, Hannah's just such a scream. So those were 2 that I managed to get in before we recorded. But awesome. So it's nice that they're doing those. And there is that warning thing that comes up before the ride start, telling everybody that
the disclaimer,
they're not in any way, right? The disclaimer, thank you.
This is not a substitute for professional, right?
But it makes us feel close as a community, which is great. All right. So for those of you that love a good Broadway series, Peloton officially announced that their latest will be showcasing the music from the very popular Dear Evan Hansen. This didn't come as a surprise because they had mentioned earlier in the month that the series would be launching but launched it appropriately in kind of tying it into Mental Health Awareness Month recognition. So for those of you that haven't seen Dear Evan Hansen, which is just the most incredible Broadway show, it does talk about, it's obviously all about mental health and that's kind of the genre of the show. This Broadway series will mark the 5th that has taken place. We've already seen Wicked, Hamilton, In the Heights, and of course Rent. The classes for the Dear Evan Hansen series kicked off with a 20-minute Peloton walk with Jess King. That was this past Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. A 30-minute yoga flow with Ross Rayburn, also from Friday. It was 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Christine de Urkley had a 30-minute ride just today, Sunday the 22nd at 1:30 p.m. And even Lane Break is releasing a 30-minute Dear Evan Hansen level. And that's going to be released on Wednesday, this coming Wednesday, the 25th.
Have you seen it's a musical?
It's a musical.
Have you seen it?
It's fantastic. It is fantastic. I saw it in New York.
I am not.
And I saw it with Platt. I saw it with Benjamin Platt,
the original.
Who was the original. Who was
What is it about?
Amazing. So it is about a kid who is who's basically in school and don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen it, but it talks about his experience in bullying and just having to cope with mental health and being in school and kind of growing up. Very moving. I think they made it. Did they make it into a movie too? I haven't seen the movie. I don't know why I'm thinking for a minute now. It may have even been made into a movie.
I feel like I saw that on one of the streaming.
Why am I blanking?
Platforms.
Yeah.
I'm sure
if anyone knows, you can
room
certainly put a comment. Yeah. I don't know why I'm thinking for a minute that it was made into a movie as well. I have not seen the movie, but I saw it a couple years ago on Broadway. But it's amazing.
Great. Well, we have some in other class content news. We have some new standing core classes brought to you by Rebecca Kennedy. So this week, Peloton added some brand new core strength classes to the platform, specifically brand new standing core strength classes. And brought to you by Rebecca Kennedy. They are unique in that they're the first time Peloton has actually labeled them as standing core. Previously, they would simply be just listed as core classes, and it would be up to us, the members, to search them out, to find which ones are actually for standing core. Although there's new classes and there's a few older ones, they now have the label standing core in them. So some of the previous ones have been retitled. There's a number of older classes that don't share that name. So to make it easier for you, we've listed them out on pelobuddy.com so you can easily find them and go to them and do them. But Peloton first, they started producing the standing core workouts back in 2019. Every year since then, they would add anywhere from 2 to 5 a year. So if you enjoy these ones, you can bookmark them. They don't add a lot of new ones, but there are 3 brand new ones that all dropped this past week on Wednesday the 18th. A 10-minute standing core strength, 15-minute standing core strength, and a 20-minute one, all with Rebecca. And then there's also, we have ones from earlier this year that we listed. These are probably the ones that were relabeled standing core. They're both 5-minute standing core strengths with Rebecca from January and February of this year. But also, be sure to hit up Pelo Buddy because you can easily see them all broken down instead of fumbling through the app like I do sometimes, trying to track down a specific workout type, which sometimes it isn't always as user friendly as you'd like it to be with the filter selections that they give you. And then we also have some new German HIIT cardio. So for our members in the German community and members in other areas that like to work out with the German instructors like I do, and you as well, Marcel, Maurer, and Erik Jager launched HIIT Cardio Classes in German. The first several are now available in the on-demand library. And in case you missed it last week, we also had mentioned that they announced bike boot camps are starting in Germany, starting in German.
Yeah, lots of German content coming out of there. It's crazy. Yeah, John, and talking about classes, at time of recording, we didn't have who it was, but there is another artist series that just dropped on Friday. We know that specifically Myla Lazar had posted some stuff on social media about being a big surprise and didn't give anything away. We know that Callie Galaxon has a core strength under the artist series. We know that Mariana Fernandez has a yoga flow in German that's labeled artist series. Speculation, could Ali and Emma's 2-for-1 ride possibly be? It didn't say artist series, but it's, as you said, I think it's the only ride coming out of the studio on Friday, live.
Coming out of the New York, it's the only live ride coming out of the New York cycling studio. So I would say it's pretty safe to assume that will be one of the artist series classes with Ali and Emma, the 2-for-1 class.
Yeah, and could Becs and Jermaine's also be? Because they have their 2-for-1 on Friday they just had their 2-for-1 on Friday. So again, for folks watching, obviously we want to try and get that information out there. We know that there was an artist series. We just don't know who it is at the time of recording, but we'll of course share all the deets next week in next week's show.
We could speculate. You mentioned when we were off air, you mentioned possibly Janet Jackson. We also heard Harry Styles, because he's red hot right now on his tour, and he was in New York City on Howard Stern and the Today Show performing. I personally would hope it's John Mayer.
I know you do, but I would think Jen Sherman. I think Jen Sherman would get a John Mayer ride, don't you?
Yeah, unless she lost the fight. Because I know a lot of the instructors they have to kind of battle for him, because of a lot of them.
Divvy them up. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
the only reason one of the members had shared Janet Jackson with me because I guess both Emma and Ali are like big Janet Jackson fans. We haven't had an artist series from her. I don't know. Is she kind of hot right now? Is there much coming out? I don't know if there's anything coming out.
She doesn't have anything. No, she doesn't have anything new. So Harry Styles is very relevant. Musical.
Very. He was in Times Square. He was in Times Square on Rockefeller Center on Thursday morning.
Yeah, he's everywhere. He's everywhere right now.
He was
and his album.
He's been on a show.
So, I was just about to say his album just came out on Friday the 20th. So it sounds like it's Harry Styles. It would be cool if it was another Taylor Swift, but Harry. Hopefully we're right.
Yeah, I hope we're right. And I know that in the past, Leanne had played one of Harry's songs and then had to pull it because she said that they weren't licensed to play him. And this was probably a good year ago. It wasn't Watermelon.
Oh.
It wasn't Watermelon.
Was
Watermelon
it As
song.
It Was?
It was from probably about a year ago. And I remember, and she said, we're not licensed to play him. I can't play him again. And I'm like, damn, it was such a great song. I just can't remember what it was called now. So, okay, I guess we'll see, and we'll be able to chat more about it next week. But we wanted to, being relevant, we wanted to make sure that we put it out there, that there was an artist series. And of course, you guys know, just head to Pelo Buddy. Chris will have it all up there by the time it's released. You'll know exactly which classes to go on and who it is.
If it was indeed Harry Styles, which I am predicting, since it's before the announcement was made, you heard it here first. HIHF.
We give you the credit, John. We give you the credit. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's cross our fingers. And as I said, we'll know more. Next week. Talking about classes, John, interestingly enough, the homecoming keynote has been loaded as a class, both for the bike and the tread. So I guess if you missed it, you could certainly hop on your bike and pedal away and get to listen at the same time. So that was kind of interesting. That was the first time they did something like that, where they put that up there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that one. I already know. One viewing is good for me.
It's good. True.
But in case for anyone that missed it, you have another way to conveniently to watch or listen to it. And speaking of kind of classes and programming, there's a really interesting article interview on the website builtin.com titled "How Passion and Teamwork Brought the Emma Listening Party," which is one of her classes series that she does. The Emma Listening Party content series to life for Peloton interviews, and it features it's not interviewing Emma, but it does interview DJ John Michael DeSpirito and a music producer for Peloton, as well as a music supervisor for Peloton. And it just really goes into all the behind the scenes collaborative effort that goes into putting together this series, this one that Emma started back in, I think they started putting it together in 2019. I remember it first coming out kind of just before the pandemic in January of 2020, because we were skiing somewhere up north, and I did it on demand. And the listening party, if you haven't done any of Emma's listening party classes, it's a lot more obscure music, lesser known kind of indie type music that she has discovered, and that the producers kind of cull from that genre of lesser known, less,
Okay.
just think not mainstream music, not mainstream artists. Probably more artists that on Sirius XM, if you listen to the indie station or Coffee House, they play a lot of indie type music. But just all the work that goes into it on the back end, it was really cool to read what DJ John Michael and this former music producer for Peloton and music supervisor, kind of all the work that goes into it. Because you could easily think that the instructor, just hears something, they put together a list on Spotify, but there is really, especially with these series that the teachers, the instructors put out, like Kendall's her movie buff series.
Movie buff. Yeah.
They really work with the Peloton content team. There's a lot of different moving parts. So it was really kind of interesting to hear everything that goes into it. You think that they just put together a playlist, whim bam boom, but there's so much more to it. And this article really gets into it, kind of how involved it is. So definitely worth the read.
Awesome. And then switching gears completely, but something that definitely put a smile on a few people's faces, John, that we saw a glitch on the app this past week, whereby under the featured class section, a fake class showed up with members' own profile image and a date of 12/31/69. I know I had some fun posting it on my social with a comment saying that apparently I needed 47 years of training, but it would be interesting to see how I fared as an instructor at 100. But from what I saw, a few people enjoyed sharing it on their social media too. So that was kind of fun to see. And then
they went ahead and by the time I went in there, they went ahead and fixed the glitch. So I didn't see the class with my photo like so many others did.
like others did. Yeah, it was kind of funny. It was definitely kind of funny.
I was late to the party on that one.
Late to the party. I'm sure you would have gotten tons of fun out of that. I can just imagine.
Oh yeah.
But especially, kind of with the date and being New Year's, it was funny. And I looked at it as being like 2069 versus 1969. So I made it into kind of being, it was 2069. Weird date that they had up there.
Yeah.
And then there was definitely some buzz regarding the U.S. House of Representatives being offered free Peloton memberships after Fox Business had reported it. For a minute there, it looked like Peloton Corporate Wellness would be expanding into the U.S. House. But just a few days later, a report came out saying that they were actually canceling the contract after what we can only assume was from some pushback. I know the comments that I took a look at on Chris's post when he posted about it on Pelo Buddy were pretty interesting and political. So I guess they figured it was probably a good idea to just pull out of that and not draw any more attention to Peloton, and certainly not to, the political spectrum that it is right now. So that was kind of interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, in shifting gears a little bit, Peloton, we are always reporting on new lawsuits, Peloton's suing someone or being sued. Well, this one, a lawsuit has been settled. So between Peloton and iFIT, who are the owners of the NordicTrack brand and creators of iFIT software, this past Monday morning, they announced they have agreed to settle all lawsuits between them. As a result of this agreement, two things will be happening. First, iFIT has agreed to remove certain on-demand leaderboard technology from its products that Peloton, in their lawsuit against them, had stated was proprietary to them. And secondly, Peloton will be licensing certain patents from iFIT. However, Peloton does not have to change any functionality on their software or make any hardware modifications as a result of the settlement. They simply have to pay iFIT for some patent usage. And this news comes just days after a judge announced they would be dismissing Peloton's trade secrets lawsuit against iFIT. Peloton had an outstanding lawsuit against iFIT they filed back in November related to those leaderboard features. And then a lawsuit against Peloton from iFIT over features of the Peloton Bike Plus. There was a second lawsuit over this with a different patent from iFIT. Peloton also been suing iFIT over another patent and misleading advertising. So I don't know if it's a wash. It seems more like, iFIT has to actually make some changes to their software and removing things, whereas Peloton just has to pay for licensing. So maybe you could consider it maybe a little bit more of a win for Peloton, but they do have to pay.
Right.
Yeah,
I was kind of
settled.
laughing. I was thinking to myself, did iFIT feel sorry for Peloton in, they filed all these lawsuits when Peloton, was making billions, and then kind of decided to halt it when things were not going quite as it had been.
Yeah, when things went south.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm glad that they were able to get that sorted and, all play in the sandbox together and figure out how to do it best. So that was good. Well, next up, John, is Instructor in the News. And I guess first off is huge congrats goes out to Tunde for being listed on the New York Times bestseller list for her new book, Speak. I'm almost sure I mentioned it in last week's show, but I did have the privilege of listening to it on my ride back from Miami to Maryland in audio version. And she is the narrator, which I just think is amazing.
Oh, nice.
She narrates her own book. And I have to tell you, folks, it was exceptional. It was absolutely exceptional. And hearing it from her firsthand, was remarkable. I don't work out often with Tunde. I've told you guys this before because she intimidates me and I'm scared of her because I'm always fearful that I'm going to die while I'm on the bike. But I have to tell you that after reading her book, or rather listening to her book, my admiration for her is off the roof. She will definitely be finding me on her leaderboard moving forward because truthfully, she is exceptional. And, I don't want to spoil it. I mean, I didn't know a lot of her story, and I certainly don't want to spoil it for those that are in the midst of her book or are going to read her book. But wow, what a story and what a life she's lived. So huge kudos for her for being where she is today and, for just coming through so much adversity and so much change in her life. So it was amazing to see that she was on the New York Times bestseller list. Awesome. And then lucky Kelly Gullickson looks like she added a new member to her family with a new pillow pop, Charlie. On Instagram, Kelly had posted that she wanted a baby or a pug, but her husband, Chris, gave her a golden retriever instead. And she says that she couldn't be more in love. And oh my God, John, I don't know if you've seen the dog, but he is so frigging cute. I mean, golden retriever
Very
puppies
cute.
are just so cute. They are just adorable. And it suits her. It absolutely suits her. I can absolutely picture her with a golden retriever. No question.
And that's just to me, the OCD in me just looks at that puppy as just a massive shedding machine. I mean, they're just crazy shedders. So I hope she has her Dyson, her lint rollers fully stocked for get ready for the shedding.
Too funny.
And also in personal news, I have some puppy news to share. So on Friday, this past Friday, Jackie and I and Jackson, we went to a breeder in Michigan because we're going to be adding a sibling for Maddie. We're getting a puppy.
That's so cute.
So we went out to visit. We went out to visit this litter of their mini golden doodles.
Oh, awesome!
And
awesome.
So
is that what
we
Maddie
went out
is?
to
Is Maddie
Maddie's a double
golden
doodle. So she's
Okay.
half golden doodle and half labradoodle. But these are
Okay.
mini golden doodles, so the smaller puppy. But we went
Awesome.
out there. They're 5 or 6 weeks old. So we went out to kind of pick which one we liked the most. So it was about 2 hours away in Michigan, Western Michigan.
Is Maddie even a year yet?
She'll be a year next month.
Wow.
She's about 11.
Wow.
She's about 11 months now. Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. Good for you.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome. That's exciting.
House is getting a little bit bigger. Yeah. So I thought
That's exciting.
and I'll bring them on one of the shows once we I think it's going to be a boy puppy. Which
Okay.
we've always had girl dogs. So
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you and Callie can frolic with your dogs together.
yeah. And shifting gears, so Anna Greenberg, she was interviewed this week for Shape.com about mental health. The interview's titled Peloton's Anna Greenberg on how yoga gave her an incredible perspective on mental health. And she also credits therapy and her personal relationships for helping her reach a healthier place. But one of the things she said in the interview, she was quoted saying, "I really struggled in my late teens and early 20s. I would hit the ground running and say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have my life. I'm going to get invested in relationships and life and passion. And then I would just hit a wall where I couldn't continue." And she says she eventually sought professional help. She briefly tried inpatient treatment, i.e. treatment at a hospital, and then outpatient care that included daily therapy. But it really goes in, how meditation and yoga have obviously helped her, what she teaches on the Peloton platform. But a real interesting glimpse into Anna's life.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working out with her more and more, and she's wonderful. She really is wonderful. I love her meditations and her yoga. And again, I've said this time and time again on the show. I absolutely admire just the vulnerability and the rawness of the instructors in sharing their own history and what they've been through, because I think that we do look to them. We do look to them for support and for help. And, as we've said time and time again, with Kendall, it's just amazing when they are, share their own personal battles and get to the other side. I mean, again, in Tunde's book, it was a huge part of her book. It wasn't mental health, but she dealt with her own, her weight and everything else she had to. So yeah, amazing. And
good on them for taking advantage of using this massive platform that they have of all these members to help normalize that discussion. Because Kendall, give her a lot of credit. She does, her weekly chats on the green Insta Lives, which are revolve usually around, something mental health related. So it's great that they have, really put it out there.
Yeah, no, I have to say it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. All right. So lastly, an instructor in the news, our very own Aditi Shah made her way to DC and into the White House this past week for AAPI month. And she actually got to meet the vice president and chat with her. So on her social media, Aditi said, thank you, Vice President, for opening the door to possibility for so many. My younger self would never have dreamt of being at the White House in celebration of AAPI month. My heart feels full knowing that kids who, like me, get to see themselves and their culture represented and celebrated. It means so much to so many, feeling grateful. And of course, she looked stunning. We chatted a little bit because I said, "Oh my God, you're in my backyard. I'm coming to see you." And she had come up on the train and for the day, and she said it was a quick in and out because actually she's another one that's off. She's gone off to India. Aditi's off the schedule. I missed her. I missed her in the telling it when everyone was off. Aditi's gone off to spend 2 weeks with her family. I believe it's her parents' wedding anniversary, and so she's gone off. And of course, being in India, during AIPA month is amazing. So huge shout, just amazing that she got to stand, on the grounds of the White House and got to meet the vice president. And it looked like it was a wonderful affair. It really looked. I think she was surprised that a friend had invited her, from what I understood. So yeah, awesome.
I wonder, did she mention to you, did you ask her if there was any kind of Peloton related discussion? Did we find out who the Veep's favorite instructor is?
I didn't. You know what? I didn't. It was late. We were texting each other. Okay. We were messaging each other. It was like midnight when she was on her way back because I had said, when she had put that in there, I had said, have a safe flight. And she goes, no, I'm actually just on the train back to New York. I'm only leaving in 2 days for India. So it was late. And in fact, she messaged me and I'd fallen asleep and saw that the next morning. But she is on her way to that. But yeah, it was lovely to see that. So, lucky her. All right, John. So I guess next up is our picks of the week. And we're going to go right into them. All right. So I'm very proud of myself, John. The glasses have to come on because I can't read. I'm very proud of myself. And I think you need to be very proud of me, as well as everybody listening and watching. I've gone out of my very sheltered little environment and I tried different people. So first up, Camilla Ramon. I did her 30-minute Latin ride from the 14th. It was live at noon Eastern, so it was on Saturday. And John, it was a party on the bike. I had done Benny's Latin ride previously, and he had told me that his playlist had actually come from Camilla. He had chatted with Camilla and she had helped him with his playlist. And I actually downloaded and made it. I mean, it's a playlist that I have now and listen to all the time. I've just added all of Camilla's songs into it. It was in English, so it was an English ride, and she had to remind herself that it was English, she said, because playing Latin music and being an English ride. But she is fantastic. And I love that she does both Spanish and English rides. I definitely want to do her mental health awareness ride. I wasn't able to jump on that on Monday. Yes, it was way too early, but I do want to do that. So that is first up. Next up was Selena Samuela. I did her 20-minute API Heritage Walk. That was on the 16th, so that was from Monday at 10:15. And you know what? She's a beautiful storyteller. As for those folks that don't know, she lived in Hawaii for pretty much a huge part of her, right out of high school. She kind of wanted to go find herself and had gone off to Hawaii and told her story about being embraced by the community. And she says she feels that it's an incredibly huge part of her life and her upbringing and what she did. So it was beautiful. And I wasn't alone. Bertha C. Runs MD had suggested it as her pick of the week as well. So it was lovely to see so many friends on the leaderboard, and it was a super, super walk. And so those are my kind of two newbies, although Selena I have worked out with before. Camilla was really my big newbie. But going back to our boy, Benny Adami, he did that 30-minute disco ride on Friday, which was so much fun. I mean, it was just so much fun. I loved seeing you on there. I mean, I do have to vie for his attention with you, John. It's rather annoying sometimes, but he just has a way with him. His music choice was fantastic. As I've said time and time again, music is magic and you don't have to understand. And I really am thrilled because I have gotten so many people share with me that due to you and I sharing, our love for him and his rides on Picks of the Week and on the show, so many people are experiencing him. So I really do want to try and do that with more of the instructors that I don't typically, because it makes an impact, and I think it's really nice for them. So that was Benny. And then I did Justin Thompson Rule, subbed on Tuesday for John. John Husking typically has his Tuesday slot, which was on the 17th at 1:30 p.m. And she did a 90s walk. She is so much fun. I just adore her. And the walk was, she's hysterical. She just also shares stories. I felt so bad. It was her husband's birthday. And there she was, on a walk. And, I love how they just share their lives with us. Somebody said this to me the other day, and it is true. I mean, we're not their friends. And yet I feel like they're our best friends, right? They share so much of their life. We probably know more about their lives than we do about our own friends' lives. I feel that sometimes. But she shared about how she was, scurrying around trying to find daycare for her son, and her husband was working late and it was his birthday. But the walk was just one of those. The playlist was on point. She did great. Absolutely loved that walk. And then, I'm sharing this one with you, John. Rebecca, and I kept it for last because I wanted for you to lead into it, and you can certainly give your 2 cents as well. But Rebecca's 45-minute hiking boot camp on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best workouts I think I've ever done. Seriously, it was absolutely fantastic. Her playlist was, you'll talk about the playlist more than I, because I'm just not as, music buff like you are. But that boot camp, I loved that it was 45 minutes. I loved how she split it between those pretty aggressive hikes and the floor workout. I could barely move on Thursday. My quads were on fire. Are you still sore? Please tell me you're sore too.
I'm still sore, not only from this past week's boot camps on the tread, but I haven't really even recovered. I've been using, the Theragun constantly, but yeah, I've been loving the boot camps.
I don't know if you saw that on my story, but literally, I swear to God, I got on the bike on the tread with my Theragun in my hand, and there she was standing with her Theragun doing. Doing it in the pre-show, and I posted it, and she saw it, and she goes, "You gotta love that Theragun," and actually Theragun saw my post, and they actually reached out and said, love seeing you guys using our products. I don't know what I would do without my Theragun. It's a quick little plug there for Theragun, but it's changing.
Hashtag not an ad.
Right, hashtag not an ad.
We just like it. We're not paid or endorsed.
Exactly. But I Am Kimmy Ho also had suggested it as her pick of the week, and I'm sure there were tons more, because truly it was out of the ones, and I've pretty much done I think I've done all of Rebecca's hiking boot camps. This one was by far everything. My arms hurt, my legs hurt. I put the work in, and it was worth it. It was amazing. And then I did do that 20-minute. Did you do her 20-minute mood stretch after?
No, I did a stretch after, but no, I didn't do the one that you had mentioned.
Just because it was 20 minutes. Social. Yeah, It was 20 minutes. It was a little, but I needed it. Oh my God, I needed it. And it was fantastic.
I could have used it
as a pick of the week, but it was awesome. So and then I'll leave them up to you.
So I obviously had that 45-minute of Rebecca's on my picks of the week, but it was I love the playlist because it was an all 80s rock. And that's my favorite. And I have a lot of 80s, my picks of the week this week has a lot of different 80s music in the various classes that I chose that really stood out. But Rebecca's, was great. My favorite, there's always one song I love the most. And it probably was Bryan Adams' Summer of '69, because that's just a great song. We're getting into the warm summer months, so just, really hits home. But, Aerosmith, Stevie Nicks, John Cougar Mellencamp, the Eurythmics, Elton John. She had Robert Palmer, NXS, Eddie Money. And then at the very end, she played U2's With or Without You, which was funny because I don't know if that's a new camera angle, but it was this camera angle that was looking right down at her, lying on her back. And, Rebecca and I, we have this connection. And during that song, she goes, Pruitt, I don't know why I don't play this song often, but whenever I do, you're always here. And she referenced the Friends episode of Ross and Rachel, the one when they're on a break. And Ross calls into a radio. Were they on a break? That's the debate. So Ross calls into the radio station to request that U2 song, With or Without You. And it shows Rachel listening to it when it comes on the radio from her apartment. And then all of a sudden it shows Rachel picking up the phone, and you think she's calling Ross because the DJ, sent the dedication from Ross to Rachel. And then it cuts back to Ross listening to it on the radio, and the music all of a sudden abruptly stops before the song ends. And the DJ goes, Ross, that was Rachel that just called in. She told me what you did, and I don't want to play your song anymore. But when I first got the tread back, in October of 2020, one of the first runs I did with Rebecca, she played that song and she was running, and she goes, "What does this song remind you of?" I know what you're thinking. Were they on a break? So it's just funny whenever that song comes on. Just some things, instructors think of certain people, like Jen Sherman. Whenever she plays The Who, she always mentions Howard Godnick because that was his favorite music band. So it's just kind of funny, different things, instructors when they connect with members. But yeah, it was just a funny moment. So I put that up in my Insta stories after that class. Awesome. But absolute one of the best 80s playlists I have heard on the Peloton platform in many years. And so just fantastic from start to end. Next one, Selena Samuela's 30-minute Rock That Lower Body Tread Bootcamp from Monday the 16th. This had, it was heavy with a lot of 80s rock. It wasn't all 80s, but there were some other genres mixed in there. What else did she have? She had some David Bowie. She had Steve Miller Band, Take the Money and Run, which is probably one of my favorite tunes from that class. ZZ Top, The Police, Kiss, U2. Great Shred Boot Camp, 30 minutes. It flew by. Next one that I've got is Christine, CDE's. Her 30-minute 80s rock ride. Another great 80s playlist. We also had this one submitted by leaderboard name Liz311. They said you get to see how she trains for nationals. So there's some tough efforts in this class, but also just a super fun 80s throwback playlist. My favorite tune from that one, which I haven't heard on the platform in a while, was Sister Christian by Night Ranger. You know that one, Amanda?
I'm familiar with. No, I'm not.
It goes, motorin', what's your price for flight? And finding Mr.
But you know me, I'm not a huge
Right.
rock. I'm not a huge rock person, so you can't take it from me.
So that's the song. If you've ever seen the movie Boogie Nights with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh yes.
That's the song when Mark Wahlberg and his pals, they go over to like make a drug deal, and they have like a bag of flour that they're trying to sell.
Okay.
And the guy, this like high roller dude in California, he's like playing that song and he's rocking out to it and he's doing drugs in front of him. And there's this kid in the background just like lighting off firecrackers in the house. And the guy's rocking out to the song, and Mark Wahlberg and his buddy, they're all tweaking, and they just keep, jumping when the fireworks go off. So I always immediately think of that scene from Boogie Nights.
It's too funny.
But another great 80s playlist on Christine's 30-minute ride there. And then going to Andy Spears, his 20-minute glutes and leg strength from Monday the 16th, another great strength workout. He played a cover of Sisqo's The Thong Song, which was really funny because at one point he motions and he snaps his thong back. He's like, snap your thong back. He's like, only to yourself. Don't snap anyone else's thong. But it's just, just a funny moment. I'm trying to be more consistent with strength classes. So this was a good one. It's 20 minutes. It's 20 minutes. It wasn't like a 60-minute killer or 45-minute one. So it goes by pretty quick. And then I did have one late entry that I didn't submit ahead of time because when I submitted Chris Lewis my picks of the week, I hadn't done this class yet. But from Thursday, the 19th, Selena Samuela's 20-minute soft rock walk. This one was great. It was a lot of member requests, playlists. She kicked it off with my request, which was John Mayer's Last Train Home off his latest album, Sob Rock, which is a great tune. She also played some Heart, some Bruce Springsteen. She had some Cranberries in there, Billy Idol's Eyes Without a Face. So just a real chill, soft rock vibe on that one, but definitely check it out. It's 20 minutes. It goes by super quick. I wish it had been longer actually, because I was really into the playlist. And then let's continue on with some more member submissions.
Yeah, go for it. You got Alex.
So
there.
Alex is his 30-minute Club Bangers ride from Saturday the 14th. This one was submitted by Gina Bean, 28. They said, I like how AT recognized how homecoming started, the feel of the transition over the years, especially being an instructor pre-COVID, to navigating that, and how much he appreciates all of us on the leaderboard. It was just an all-around feel-good ride with, bangers. And I did that one live. That was a great one.
I will tell you, I did it live too, John.
Oh, you were there.
I did do it. I had a friend celebrating a milestone, so I jumped on to do it. And yeah, it was good. It was good. It wasn't one of my favorite rides, but it was good. It was definitely worth. I would definitely do a Club Bangers with him again. No question. No question. All
Yeah,
right,
he did preface
so,
in pre-show how there would be no 2 live crew, which I guess, back in the day, he would play a lot of, ratchet 2 live crew songs. But there was still some explicit. Club Bangers is typically explicit. So, you still got some explicit stuff in there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I've also been busy because I see here. So next up, and that Fleetwood Mac artist series definitely was a winner. I mean, there's no question. So many members have loved it. So I'm going to go ahead with Nizumi 88 and Susie Rue 82, who I just love being on the leaderboard with. Both picked Susie Chan's 20-minute Fleetwood Mac run. It was from the 14th, was also Saturday. It was at 4:30 a.m. Eastern. I didn't do it live. I did it on demand, and I agree with them. Amazing music, amazing energy from Susie, who is the best instructor and pushed me to a new PB. Only wish it had been a longer run. It was just a 20-minute. So that was Susie Chan's 20-minute Fleetwood Mac run.
And then we also had Emma's 30-minute Fleetwood Mac ride. That was from Sunday morning. A lot of folks submitted this one. We got Mitch Whitney, Mrs. Rickless, David the Creator, B Crew 21, Lishku, Brian A, Perfuma 1, Red Hawk Rider, Anna Pace 4. Some of the comments that they submitted include riding since 2014 as an OG. This is my top 10 of all time. So that's about as high praise as you can get. And then also someone said, yes, playlist was great. Ride structure was strong, and Emma lets you feel the music while giving little tidbits of info. But the real star of the ride, Emma's hair.
It was fantastic. Again, I really went out of my comfort zone this past week. I chose different instructors. Absolutely loved that ride too. I mean, it was fantastic. And you can clearly see how many members did too. So, yeah, fantastic. Well, Andy Spear did that 60-minute Fleetwood Mac total strength. Queen Cheese, K-Flow 413, and Bookishly Fab all recommended it. It was from the 15th. It was at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. And they said he truly embodies perfect complexes and heart, perfect playlist, and great workout from Andy. Love that he played a full album. So did you end up doing that one, or you didn't do that one?
No, what did I do? Sunday morning, I mean,
60-minute total strength is intense.
No, Sunday morning, Jackson had a super early hockey game, and then we had to go. So I had a really small window that morning. We went to the Detroit Tigers baseball game.
Awesome.
So I actually did a 20-minute live recovery ride in German with Erik Jager.
Awesome.
That's and I'm glad I did, because when we got home, we were just tired out. But no, Jen Sherman was off.
Yeah, so Emma took that slot. Emma did.
So I would have done
9:30 slot.
Yeah, I would have worked out with Andy, but I just that was when we were already heading out to the baseball game.
Got it.
Yeah. So moving on, we had several people submit Camilla's 30-minute mental health awareness ride from Monday the 16th. Ruby Gensler, Hockey Mama 47, Pelo for Cafecitos, Carrie Saz, Lady Sonora, Smashley 083, and Rokio Dimar. I butchered that one probably. They said it was just packed with great messages about overcoming struggles, and the music was fabulous. It was a very powerful and emotional workout.
Awesome. And then Sam Yo's 20-minute mental health recovery ride from the 17th, 12:45 p.m. Eastern, daylight spins and back in a Prosecco. I love that leaderboard name. That is such a cool leaderboard name.
So we got every variation of alcohol leaderboard names.
Right, I know. And the instructors always love that. Cool ride with great music, good sweat, but not terribly challenging. Sam is just calming, teaches you to breathe, teaches the breath to calm down. Very cool. So that was Sam's mental health ride.
And we had Finding Dory 78 submit Cody's 30-minute pop ride from Tuesday the 17th. They said his banter was perfect and all the songs were about the body. I honestly haven't laughed that hard on the bike in a long time. I almost had to stop pedaling. I was laughing so hard and the music was fantastic.
So Finding Dory 78 is actually a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that she submitted that.
She submitted something?
Yeah, that's awesome. She adores Cody. So that 30-minute pop ride, awesome. And then Kira Michelle, Brooke Pennekins, and Kiara's Koalas said just full of beautiful, important messages. That was her 45-minute mental health awareness yoga flow. Also from the 17th, it was from 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. And that was a good pick.
And then we had several folks submit Kendall's 20-minute mood ride, which was anxious mood from the 18th. The Twin Mom, Cat Luby Real Estate, and Hey, It's Gazelle. They said this class was amazing. My anxiety has been getting the best of me lately, and I needed her ride more than I knew. It allowed me to truly feel what I was feeling in that moment and then realize it. I hope anyone suffering from anxiety takes it.
Oh, that's awesome. And then Natalia 26 recommended Marcel Dinkins' 20-minute mood run, which was Frustrated. That was from the 18th as well, 8 a.m. They said her playlist was awesome per usual, and she played trap metal, which I've never heard before. She also exposes me to new music. Her words were on point for this mood, reminding us that it's okay to be frustrated and sit in it and feel our feelings. It's so freeing and encouraging. I felt such a release. I've bookmarked this class and will 100% go back. She's such a light. Thank you, Natalia 26. That was an awesome comment, and hopefully folks will go ahead and jump on that one.
And we had Be Better submit Jess Sims' 20-minute mood, full body strength, which was the Grateful Mood. That was from the 18th. They said her words, structure, and positive message.
And then Jess King's 30-minute Disney ride. I missed this one. I didn't realize she had a Disney ride. It was also from the 18th. It dropped at 5 p.m. Eastern. SK Spins 84 and Vegas Ginger 729 said, took me back to my childhood and all the good feels.
And we had Stina 499. They submitted Tune Day's 20-minute 2000s ride from the 18th. They said some classic Tune Day dancing, towel fun, but you can tell how much she missed teaching since she's been away promoting her book, climbs, endurance runs, you name it, she did it.
That's awesome. And last up in the picks of the week is Tiny But Tough recommended, which I kind of like her leaderboard name considering it was Kendall Toole's 30-minute mental health shadowboxing. Also from the 18th, 7:30 p.m., they said such a great and important convo. So I can only imagine that Kendall gave everything in that workout. Tons of picks of the week, amazing choices. I think we got a nice, array of instructors and modalities on there. So it's always great to hear from you guys. And I think people have really been enjoying, submitting as well as hearing about some of these picks of the week.
Branching out a little bit.
Yeah.
And we also need to mention, we forgot to shout out Matty Majacomo. We missed his birthday. It was last Monday, the 16th. So happy birthday to my tread boo, Matty.
Yeah, he had quite some birthday. You said he was away, right? I think he had gone away.
Yeah, he was
awesome.
I think he was back in New York for his birthday. But yeah, I guess he was celebrating in Turks and Caicos with his partner and looks like his parents and some of his family.
Awesome. Well, folks, I guess that pretty much wraps it all up. Tons of stuff to share with you. Obviously, next week we will divulge in the bits that we did not know going into recording, like who that artist series is and has Becs Gentry moved to London. I'm looking forward to finding out as much as you guys are. And of course, as we all wait in anticipation for the new studios, well, not the new studios, for these studios, although they will be new to all of us because nobody's been to either of them. So, which is kind of funny, that I guess the pandemic hit right before New York opened, and of course London opened during. So I'm looking really forward to that. So folks, again, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to listen. We hope you have enjoyed the show. We try and give you our perspective on stuff and just make it fun. So hopefully you get what we get out of it. And thanks for taking the time to take a watch or take a listen. So from me here in Maryland, bye for now, everybody.
And for me here in Michigan, appreciate you tuning in. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.